This video is brought to you by Capes India. Capes India offers high quality skins for your phone made out of 3M materials which add style and protection to your phone without the bulk of a case. Their website offers an incredible range of customizability of skins for your phone along with free shipping and cash on delivery. Visit the link below in the description to grab yourself a skin and use the code KDCloudy at checkout to get a 10% discount. Hey, what's up guys, this is KDCloudy and welcome to the full long-term review of the OnePlus Nord. I covered it and unboxed it a couple of months ago, right around when it launched, and gave my initial impressions about it. And since then, there have been mixed thoughts about the product. There have been a couple of updates to fix some of those issues. And right now it feels like the Nord is kind of a stable product given the updates. So in this video, we'll be checking out how the OnePlus Nord holds up, how the camera performance and everything else hold up after 2 months of use, because you know what, time heals everything and time fixes a lot of stuff. Also, in the later part of this video, I'll be kind of analyzing the place of the OnePlus Nord in the smartphone market right now and the reasons why OnePlus even made such kind of a product. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. Now let's start with the display first, because easily the best part of the OnePlus Nord for me is the display. And before you get started with the whole display issues and green tint and everything else, I have made 2 dedicated videos on the entire display issues, the entire fiasco involving OnePlus. You can check those out. I won't say anything else except that my unit had like very minute green tinting, and ever since posting those videos, there have been multiple updates which say improved display calibration, and it's very unnoticeable on my unit, but for some of the others it's still there. The pink tint is still there. It's kind of a hit or miss, so let's just keep that aside, but let's focus on the good parts of the display first. The 90Hz high refresh rate is easily one of the main selling points of the OnePlus Nord, one which is carrying the sales and the advertising and the entire campaign basically and it's basically a part of OnePlus's brand now. And OnePlus providing high refresh rate like a 90Hz display on a phone which is under 30k is amazing. 90Hz itself is an amazing feature to have to those who notice it. And I can tell you for a fact that most people, like average consumers who don't know what refresh rate is, they won't notice the difference between 90Hz and 60Hz, mainly because the phone itself is very fast and the touch sampling rate is so high, it's responsive even in 60Hz. And my mom, who uses the OnePlus Nord, I kind of switched between 60Hz and 90Hz without telling her, and she absolutely did not notice the difference, and I did not hear any complaints from her even after asking that does she even notice the difference. So the bottom line is that high refresh rate is a nice thing to have, but it's only best for people who know what high refresh rate is and notice the difference between 60Hz and 90Hz. And if you notice it, if you can appreciate it, that's all what matters. And the display is very good in general. It's 1080p, it's AMOLED, so you get those very deep contrasty blacks and amazing contrast ratio. So HDR content also looks very good. It's not like a 1000 nit panel or anything, but it still looks pretty good. And media consumption in general, because of that widescreen display, is actually very nice. And speaking of media consumption, the speaker is also really good. It's not the best, but it's very loud. It's definitely not trash. It actually kind of surprised me how loud can the speaker get. So yeah, all in all, I think the speaker gets some unnecessary flack from a lot of people. It's actually pretty good. It's pretty decent for, you know, average consumers if you're not, you know, hardcore with music, in which case you should probably grab your headphones. But yeah, moving on to the build. Now, the build and industrial design is easily my least favorite part of this entire phone, and it's not even because of the plastic. I mean, sure, metal would have been nice, but the actual industrial design itself feels so uninspiring and not so exciting. It just feels like another smartphone in the market. I can't really put my finger on it about what's so bland about this design. There are just 2 colors, none of them are that great. And if you want to spice it up, you can definitely put a Capes India skin on it, like this new pastel series which they have recently launched. So you can get a couple of colors and it looks really nice on the OnePlus Nord. So I will leave a link to buy them and definitely grab one of those for yourself. Now moving on to the performance of the phone, the Snapdragon 765G is actually a pretty capable chip. Not as of a good performer like an 800 series chip, but in the day-to-day tasks I don't think you should notice the difference, and that's what everyone says, and because that's true. But the only performance bottleneck which I found was the slower UFS storage. Now it doesn't really matter because you probably won't edit videos on your OnePlus Nord, but yeah, if you're transferring huge movie files from your computer to the OnePlus Nord, it takes a while, and it also could be because the Type-C port on board only supports USB 2.0. So combine those two things, data transfers could be a little slow, but it's fine, and day-to-day stuff is fine. And the battery on the OnePlus Nord is also very good. The battery life lasts through the entire day, which is what most people need. And if you fall short in one of those days, warp charging has got your back. But the big asterisk over here is that currently the best I or any Indian reviewers can test this phone's battery life is with 4G. This phone supports 5G, and maybe in the next couple of years, if 5G comes around, maybe that will take a huge hit on the battery life. So that's something which is like a huge asterisk right now, but as time flies, we'll see. Now let's move on to the next big thing, which is the camera. Now the camera is something which not a lot of people have been fully happy with the OnePlus Nord, and it's true. Even in my experience in the earlier software versions, the white balance and the camera performance was very inconsistent. Sometimes it will give you this clean, bright, sharp image with rich colors, and the next shot would be like this totally washed out mess. And with subsequent updates, it has improved a lot, and this is actually a pretty solid camera which you can be confident with while you're shooting outdoors. And that's what it is. It's best for shooting outdoors. In low to medium light, it actually performs really well, especially in the night mode. But I mean, cameras have never been OnePlus's strong suit. Their cameras have recently gone very good only with the higher end 8 and 8 Pro. So the Nord having like an average camera, it was what most people expected. So nothing surprising. You can step it up a notch by installing a good working version of Gcam, and also video recording was also really good. There's no 4K 60 because it's a slower chip, but that's okay. So yeah, the camera performance overall is very good, and I think it should do a fine job for most people's needs. Now one thing which I've noticed is that not a lot of people feel like 100% confident or comfortable recommending this phone, because in its essence the OnePlus Nord is like a jack of all trades and a master in none kind of a device, which is totally fine. But the thing is that such kind of a hesitation to recommend this phone, like I mean, when you talk about the best sub 30k phones, the OnePlus Nord is like in the top 3. It's not like this is the best phone you can buy under 30k. I haven't heard something like that, and that's because I think that's because of the expectations OnePlus has set or had set with the previous flagships. You see, OnePlus's previous smartphones like the OnePlus 3, 380, 5 and 5T, all of these phones were sold under 35k. And I think that a lot of the users who are using any of these devices would be upgrading or switching to OnePlus Nord. The users of the OnePlus 3 and 5 constitute of a large target market for the OnePlus Nord. But is it really an upgrade from the OnePlus 3 or OnePlus 5? I mean, it feels like there are marginal improvements in some areas like the camera and the performance, a huge upgrade in the display, and a straight up downgrade on the build quality. You're getting plastic instead of metal, and you're also kind of losing out on performance because you're going from an 800 series device to a 700 series device. So all of these combined, mentally it's hard to justify an upgrade like this from a OnePlus 3 or a OnePlus 5 to a OnePlus Nord, because the thing is that in the earlier days, in the older days, you used to get more phone for the same price, but now things have changed, the environment has changed, the market has changed, and you're getting less phone for the same price, and even OnePlus cannot do anything about it. Even though the OnePlus Nord doesn't have really anything groundbreaking like previous OnePlus devices. Like previous OnePlus devices were like straight up flagship killers under 40k, And because of that mentality, when you make a device which is not a flagship killer, it kind of tips you off. So I guess OnePlus's old products have kind of spoiled a lot of people's expectations, including mine, as to what the OnePlus Nord should have been. But even at that point, even though the OnePlus Nord is not breaking any grounds or providing anything revolutionary at such a price, it's making very smart trade-offs and providing stuff which aligns to their brand. And what is OnePlus's brand? OnePlus's brand is providing a no-nonsense experience through software, through their commercials, through their branding, through their packaging. It's a no-nonsense experience. It's full of essentialism, and I think the OnePlus Nord absolutely accomplishes that. And that's the reason why people prefer OnePlus smartphones in the first place. And if you want to upgrade from OnePlus, you either go to Samsung or maybe an iPhone. And there is kind of a mentality in India that people view OnePlus as a premium smartphone brand because of their professionalism. And I think that's what will carry the OnePlus Nord. So yeah, that's basically it. That's the review and some, unnecessary analysis on the OnePlus Nord. And my final conclusive thoughts are that the OnePlus Nord is a great device. It's a jack of all trades, it's a master in none. But it's a pretty solid device. You cannot deny that. And don't buy it if you're still sticking to the older OnePlus mentality, if you're still expecting a flagship killer, because that's never going to come. And you should stop expecting that. And if you just want a clean, no-nonsense experience, get yourself the OnePlus Nord. Thank you so much for watching, and catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.